really looking forward to the next two as well. This is super exciting. So while he's getting set up, let me just introduce Andrew. Andrew is an academic from the UK, part of the leadership team at the business school. What business school?
Hertfordshire. It's about 20 miles north of London.
Ah, and hurricanes hardly ever happen there. Sorry.
Yes, he lost
Yeah,
it there.
I totally
American too.
Okay. Hartford isn't Hartford, Hereford, New Hampshire, whatever. I'll move on. Became interested in followership about 10 years ago. This is terrible. I'm like more doing a stand-up than an introduction. This is the third conference you attended.
It is the third one. Any excuse to come to America.
San Diego and Barcelona.
Yeah.
Here. He's also running the followership wiki, so if you have questions about followership resources, ask him afterwards. Which is great. So let me just get on with this.
Right, I was going to bring my phone up to see how long I was going. Hello everyone, my name is Andrew. Leroy, great presentation. I have a tendency to waffle, so I've got some notes and I'm going to stick with them, so I'm going to hide behind here and try and make sure I'm finishing the time that I've got. I'm very happy to be here amongst some fellow followership fans. I need a drink. On that, who here is studying followership? Anyone studying followership? Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. And out of interest, have we got any people that are school teachers here amongst us as well? Right, okay. So before we get into the main body of the presentation, I'd just like to share a few thoughts. I think this might resonate with some people here, especially if they are undertaking their research at the moment, doctoral studies. One thing I found in my journey of trying to understand followership is that it's a bit of a cliche, I think. The more I learn, the less I know. And like leadership, followership is truly a contested area. Unlike leadership, it's not had decades, possibly even centuries of scrutiny. And I would say more positively, I think undoubtedly, however, we are witnessing, possibly we're part of, a step change in research activity in followership. So it's quite exciting times. The other thing I wanted to say before we begin is that the context of this study is English state secondary schools. Now that may not mean much to you. So it's schools for kids from 12 to 18. One pertinent fact is a useful bit of background for you, taken from some recent government statistics, is that almost 1/3 of teachers quit 5 years after qualifying in the UK. Almost 1/3 of teachers quit 5 years after qualifying. In 2010, 21,000 teachers qualified just over. After year 1, 10% quit. After year 2, 20% quit. And after year 5, 30% had quit. Many reasons why that is, as you can imagine. It's about excessive workload, about increasingly high stakes assessment, huge increase in government intervention, and quite frankly, the life of teachers today is more difficult and arguably less rewarding than it's ever been. And that is tragic, and it's waste as well. So it places more importance on things that we can do, or head teachers, or whoever can do to improve the lot of teachers. I'm just going to, I should also say while you're reading that, I'm going to whisk through things a bit like Leroy, with quite time constraints here. So if I miss anything obvious, something that you want to know about, please ask me afterwards. In the 10 years or so that I've been studying or interested in followership, really for the last 5 or 6, I think there's been some really significant changes in followership. We've almost seen an end to the negative semantic baggage associated with being a follower, having to be spoon-fed, passive, disengaged. I think we've also seen, and certainly have seen in the last 10 years or so, a move away from what we call the role-based approach to the study of followership, where leadership and followership was typically determined by where you were positioned in the hierarchy of an organisation. So arguably, I would say today, researchers, followership researchers, tend to see the leadership process as one that engages both leaders and followers through social and interrelated interactions. So my key messages here from this slide, and it took me years to really get my head around it, so I'm giving you this for free. People follow when they are led. If you don't have followers, if you don't have a leader. And I guess the other thing that I feel quite strongly about, or I understand that, is it's not a person thing or a position thing, it's down to how someone behaves. And followers lead and leaders follow. So I wanted to just get that off my chest. So a little bit more about the study. So today's study, well, what I'm going to talk about in this presentation, is part of a wider study. But I want to just share a little bit of information about this because it may intrigue you or even set you in a particular off in a direction. I was also keen to understand what we know, in UK perspective, what we know about followership in the field of education. So I took a really extensive search, used the education databases, Scholar, everything you'd expect to undertake a very wide-ranging search. And follower-centric research in the field of general business and management has left a partial footprint. But in the field of education, there's hardly any evidence at all. As you can see from the slide, there are 17 published follower-centric papers or articles. Again, I spent an extended period of time searching for evidence, and I found just 17 papers. The majority were from the US, just one from the UK. Majority were quantitative, about a third were qualitative. All, positively speaking, all empirically underpinned. So you may know Shamir, about 10 years ago, said that we had to reverse the lens and start putting the follower centre stage and underpinning that research with some credible evidence. So that was positive. 9 used Kelly's followership questionnaire, which I'll talk about in a second. And 8 were focused on schools. 1 was focused on further education, and 8 focused on higher education. I can give you this information afterwards if you need it or want it. So the approach, so there's not a lot going on in education when it comes to follower-centric, leader-centric, follower-centric research. But anyway, what was the approach to this study, where I was trying to understand how and why secondary school teachers follow? Well, the approach I took was a mixed methods, as you can see, semi-structured interviews, a life history approach. Kelly's followership questionnaire. Who's familiar with Kelly's questionnaire? Oh, look at here. Right, I thought perhaps more would be. For all of you, actually, do you know, if you don't mind, I'm just going to go off on a tangent. This is my English oddness. But I have to share with you an experience that I had in 2014 at the first followership symposium. Yeah, indeed. So for the guys that are studying followership, and anyone, frankly, who's really into their research at the moment, perhaps undertaking their doctoral studies, you'll get where I'm coming from. So I was studying followership in a big way, been doing it for a few years. And at this meeting, at this symposium, all of the gods of followership research, Mark, of course, at the top of it, people like Ira Chalif, Mary Organ, Ron Riggio, Jean Lippman-Blumen, Barbara Kellerman, and Robert Kelly. So I was a bit in groupie mode, almost dangerously approaching stalker mode. And that day, at the end of the day, I came out of popped out of the lift and bumped into Ira Chalif. He recognised me from some of the audience. He said, "Would you like to come supper?" And I thought, "Yes, please." And to cut long story short, I had supper sat between Robert Kelly and Ira Chalif. It was the most exciting thing I'd ever done, I think, but you may understand that. But anyway, so let me get back to Kelly's followership questionnaire. So I used Kelly's followership questionnaire, the man himself. His work, if you don't know about Kelly, he's kind of like the godfather of followership research. Back in '92, he created this scale for follower types, 2 dimensions, independent critical thinking versus, and also level of participation. And it is a self-report, Likert scale, pretty simplistic measure, but he did base it on feedback from some 1,700 people, been tested many times using various tests for reliability and validity, and it is acceptably robust. The 5 types of followers that he identified were the, as you can see there, from alienated, passive, right through to the exceptional or exemplary follower. So, just a little bit more then, just to give you a little bit more background, we'll dive in. 69 respondents, 38 female, 31 male, 38 held a formal leadership position in the school that they were working, 31 were classroom-based teachers. On average, they had 11 years work experience as teachers, but it ranged from 5 to 38 years. And obviously, to look at the quantitative, not quantitative, to look at the qualitative data, I looked at some quantitative analysis, and then some pretty straightforward statistical work using ANOVA and the t-test, depending on what it was I was looking at. Right, okay, so, can you read that okay? Yeah, okay, so if you look on the left side, don't look on the right side, that's cheated. Just look on the left-hand side. So in this study, I was keen to understand how teachers follow, and I found it surprising because I hadn't done all the research which I'm about to tell you about now. But the exemplary followers, the teachers reported as exemplary followers, the predominance of exemplary followers. You can see that 54, I think it was, from memory, or 84%. And then 11% is pragmatic, sorry, 14% is pragmatic followers. And 3 types were unreported. Now, interestingly, I since found out, subsequently I found out, having undertaken this search of these 17 studies that I referred to. In fact, there's one that's been, a further one has been developed this year. There are now 4 studies that looked at school teachers, at least bracket school, using Kelly's model. And interestingly, all 4 of them align with the results of this study. In that, the most popular follower type that was reported by the respondents was exemplary followers. And the second most popular was pragmatic followers. So I found that pretty interesting that, that it aligns exactly with the very small group of similar studies that have looked at the same thing. And I guess it's interesting when you look at, I did mention that there were 9 followership-centric research projects which had used Kelly's followership model. Of those, the other ones didn't find exemplary followership as the most popular model when they were looking at HE, for example. The quantitative data tested for various relationships between the variables, and the one statistically significant result it found was linking with the 2 dimensions of leadership. Okay. The qualitative research revealed 6 dominant behaviours, and I've identified those behaviours here: upward influencing, challenging, self-managing, proactive and engaging, passivity and dissenting. And again, encouragingly, the 4 behaviours, the first 4 behaviours were aligned with those interviewees that self-reported as exemplary followers, and the passive and dissenting were aligned with those who reported as pragmatic followers. On the right-hand side of the slide, you can see that I've attempted to come up with some ideas why this might be the case. And for me, this link with leadership is the natural thing to look. As I'm suggesting, that the preponderance of exemplary followership that was reported in the study of founders was a result of teacher leadership and teacher professionalism. And teacher leadership, I'm talking about both formal leadership and informal leadership, and teacher professionalism, I'm thinking about the fact that one of the areas that, just for teacher leadership, let me just say, I'm conscious I'm running out of time. It really is perhaps no surprise, or it is less of a surprise if you read the work of people like Bass and Kelly and Charles and what have you, because if you read what they say, Bass spoke of the elements of effective leadership, and they mirror very clearly how we describe what effective followership. It's the same with Kelly, the same with Chalif and his partner follower, and the same with Kelly. So perhaps it's unsurprising that people that practice leadership therefore practice exemplary followership. The note about that I make about teaching professionalism is associated with the idea that the what was really striking in the interview data was how convincingly and passionately the teachers spoke about how they were driven by their own personal beliefs and values. They really wanted to do something of value to society. They wanted to do something that would help kids. And I think this was another reason why, even where the backdrop suggests that life is tough as a teacher, they were still fighting through that and they wanted to do the right thing. And as a result, they behaved in line with exemplary performance. And I mean, is this unique to teaching? I don't know. Is it commonplace? I don't know. I did think that, you know, would a plumber or an accountant or some other such area suggest that they're driven by those beliefs? I don't know. Right, I've run out of time.
Finish up.
Yeah, okay. So I worked with some of the schools that I used initially to draw respondents from. I also then spoke to them about how they go about attempting to unlock leadership or tap into their followers or into their staff. And for the academics amongst us that have looked at areas, very significant areas these days, teacher leadership or distributed leadership, they'll be well aware of how these are seen as the panacea for doing this. So, the first case study, just very quickly, the head teacher there, or principal I think you call it here, talked about managing from the middle. He was very keen on trying to manage from the middle. He set up various vehicles so that he could encourage student and staff voices. I don't know, you guys in the States, this is my area of specialism. Perhaps you guys already do all of this stuff, I suspect, are behind you. The other thing I thought was quite interesting is that he held seminars initially for his senior leadership team, SLT, on followership training. He then has devolved it out to all of the staff. So that all of the staff have had a basic introduction to what followership is about, the different approaches to it, and so on and so forth. The second case study is quite interesting. The head teacher there was a bit fed up of thinking that all the brilliant ideas came from his team. And so he called it backseat driving. He wanted some backseat driving set up in Bolton. And he set up these 6 pedagogic champions. He gave them resources, he gave them time and funds. And what he wanted them to do was to find out what they thought, the people, the staff thought was important. And then they had the time and energy to investigate that, and thereby becoming slightly more about, right, I'm going to finish. Now, my son bet me that I couldn't put an image of The Walking Dead in my slide. I didn't think I'd show you the gruesome ones. This is courtesy of Lego. But going back to the first slide, what I said about Robert Kelly, who wrote in the foreword of the book that you guided, Mark, about when you see it everywhere, once you spotted it. Even here, I think, you know, the zombies or the walkers are probably an example of the old negative association of followers. And then Rick and his team, perhaps great examples of leader followers, follower leaders. So I apologise if I've waffled on a little bit too much. I think my message really is that it was a small-scale study about how teachers follow and why they might follow. My main thing is, I think, to recognise that it very much is this overlap between leadership and followership is probably the reason why. And possibly, not unique, but particular to this niche for teachers, this teacher profession certainly drives them to behave and follow in a particular way. I'll stop there, thank you.
Questions?
Yeah, can you go back to the slide with the finger? And you talked about, you said there were 6 behaviors and it was hard to see. No.
Oh, sorry, this one.
We can't see the 6 behaviors. Did you
Oh, sorry, yeah. I'm meant to say, just email me. I'll put a slide at the end, and I'll send you my slides.
Fine. Okay.
But the 6 behaviours, and the 6 behaviours were also aligned to the work of, I think it was Carsten and colleagues that published a really significant paper in 2014, was it later than that, 2015, a review of followership theory. Yes, so there's my email. If anyone wants some slides or some more information or wants to collaborate with an English bloke on some research into followership in education or anywhere. Yes,
you mentioned the headmaster from the senior leadership team, I think it was, did followership training.
Yes.
The senior leadership team. What did that kind of comprise of?
Well, let me do it. to do it, but he would let me do it, so I don't know what that was about. So I wasn't there. But basically, his school was the case study in the College of Action Group, one of the chapters. But he, I'll be quite honest, he based it very much around Kelly's model originally, because he felt that was a good way of people getting a handle on what it was about. And also, his intention, I can tell you what his intention was for his senior leadership team. In UK schools, state secondary schools, they tend to be, depending on the size of the school, from about 4 people up to about 8 people. And that's the senior echelon of the school. He wanted them to understand that they had to reach out more to the talent in the school to assist them. And he also wanted them to understand why people may not be effective or exemplary followers as well. And so it was quite a neat way of making them understand, these 2 dimensions. Are they active? Are they passive? Are they engaged? Are they disengaged? Why is that? Where are you all starting? Why is that? And what might you do to try and change someone from feeling alienated to feeling part of the team and therefore engaging in a positive way?
Right. Thank you.
So you said that 30% of UK teachers leave after about 5 years.
Yeah.
So I guess what I thought was really interesting was the fact that, Kelly, going off the tip, talks a lot of times like alienated followers generally start as exemplary followers. And you had a group that's 84% exemplary, with 30% leaving after 5 years.
Yeah.
And then for some reason alienated didn't pop up. So I'm just, what are your thoughts on that?
Lots of the pragmatic, if we had more time, I could show you, the pragmatic follower kind of fits in the middle of the 4 categories. If you imagine the 4 boxes, very difficult to do that. But so I think there were 1 or 2 that sort of were in that direction, weren't clearly on the positive side or in the where we normally associate the effective follower. But for me, the overwhelming position seemed to be that the people that were there were really keen to just make a difference, and I think that professionalism. If they were there, they'd already decided to stay and deal with it head on, possibly. I mean, if I'm understanding what you're saying and if I'm making sense, if a lot of people are dropping out, why did they not demonstrate that? Well, I would suggest that they were possibly not there because they dropped out. Increasingly, what was left were the hardcore members that were either up for it or still up for it, or in some cases, because it was a small sample, but about 11, I think, out of the 69 were pragmatic followers, and they were more interested in establishing work-life balance, doing enough to get by. So there were some people that were perhaps being impacted by the pressures of being a teacher. But I just assumed that those that were there were still highly committed. And just to repeat, the 4, another paper published this year, but the 4 studies that have looked at school teachers, the followers of school teachers using Kelly's model, interestingly all say the same thing, that the majority report as exemplary followers. Now, it may be something to do with the questions they're being asked, and also, I would argue, this overlap between what they're being asked and the fact that many of them lead in the classroom, and also formally, it means that they naturally aspire or naturally end up with report self-efficacy in terms of followers. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of a follow-up to that question, I guess, then is, do you have the demographic data on how long they have been teachers? So So these were mostly teachers who had already passed that 5-year mark?
Yes, sorry. They were, 11 years was the average teaching length of time, and it went from, I can't remember now, 3 or 5 to 38 years.
Right, okay. So if you got them early career, then you could actually correlate between the survey and what happened.
Yeah.
And at the very end of what you said, I think you may have answered my other question I was going to ask, because so I teach at a university, I work at a university, and I would say that if I was to categorize most of the other professors at the university, I wouldn't have called them exemplary.
No, of course not. I work at the university. I run one with 80 odd staff, and I'm telling you, they're not. I shouldn't say that. They're all exemplary.
They're all exceptional.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean exemplary.
No,
So I think I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to interrupt myself in a second. I think my question was, if I was to give them that survey, I would be concerned that they all think that they're exemplary. Because they all think that, first of all, they're smart and they're engaged and they care about things and blah, 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 and I get bizarre results, which didn't. So, do you feel that this, is that a challenge?
If I had the questions in front of me, I'd be more confident. But I seem to remember some of the questions. And I think some of the questions wouldn't enable the academics either, which seems to be able to respond in a positive way to everything, and therefore score highly on the dimensions, and therefore be considered to be up there on the right-hand quadrant as a highly exceptional follower. So I think that the nature of the questions in Kelly's questionnaire may prevent people that are actually deluded. I mean, if they were deluded or literally, if they may, but I'm not sure about that. And interestingly, the very small number of studies that have looked at the followership of higher education academics, they don't report as exemplary followers.
Interesting, okay, good.
As the largest group.
Cool, that makes sense. Last question.
There's an educator actually in Atlanta. His name's Ron Clark. He runs a 6th through 8th grade school, and he's written a book called Move Your Bus. And he's not a followership, a scholar at all, but he describes on this bus 4 types of followers. He calls them runners, joggers, walkers, and the people that are sitting on the bus. And I'll send you a link to his. He's got a YouTube video about it, and of course his book is like one of those little fable books, like the Fred Factor type thing. So it's not necessarily a scholarly work, but what he said was that runners will stop running if you don't treat them right as the leader. So if you don't give them the resources, the recognition, the intrinsic motivation, they'll either stop running and become a walker or a jogger, or they'll leave the organization, not because they're not committed, just because they don't feel they're getting the support from the leader. So it's a little bit, so maybe that's what's happening in the UK with your study, is that the really great followers said, look, if this is not going to get better, then I'm going to take my talent and bring it somewhere else where I can fulfill my role, be more useful.
Okay, I think what you said, get off my butt, sorry, that's right.
Off my bus, not butt, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's what we were going.
Thank you very much.
What's it called?
The book?
Yes.
I told you I was going to email you that, and I still haven't yet. Here.
So while they're working on this, I'd like to introduce Dr. Karen Shearer, who I've known for a few years now.